The ZA Tech Show is made possible by Vodacom. Power to you at vodacom.co.za. And by BlackBerry. Love doing business on your BlackBerry smartphone at blackberry.co.za. Episode number 192 of the ZA Tech Show, and Happy New Year. This is our first show of the year. It's also part of our holiday specials for the ZA Tech Show, our third holiday special, because the first Monday of the year is the 2nd of January, and we didn't think we'd get all the geeks together that early in the year, but we'll be back next week with our first live show and full-length episode for 2012. This week, however, we're doing our Outlook 2012 edition of the ZA Tech Show, where we look at some of the trends and things that we're expecting for the new year, some of the things that are on our radar for 2012 that we think will pop up. Next week, I'll be heading off to Las Vegas to the Consumer Electronics Show, and that's always a great indicator of what we can expect to see for for the year. I went to it at the beginning of last year, 2011, and all the things we ended up talking about in the ZA Tech Show for the year, the Motorola Zoom, LTE, all of the things that popped up, we kind of saw in Las Vegas. Somebody who was with me there last year was Brett Haggard.
Hey, Si.
From Hypertext Media Communications.
How you doing, man?
All right, thank you. Happy New Year.
Good. Yeah, same to you.
Thank you. Benedict Kelly's here from the Mail and Guardian.
Hi, Simon.
And rounding off our team of the ZA Tech Show holiday specials is Andy Hadfield from Real Time Wine.
Happy New Year to you, Simon.
How are you doing, Andy?
I'm tired. Man, and it's a new year already. I meant to feel
we
like
pre-recorded this show, so
old
we're having some fun with the concept. But Happy New Year to you. All right. So let's run through our things that are on our roadmap for 2012. Where shall we begin? Would you like me to start with something? No, Ben wants to go. Off you go,
I'll
Ben.
start. Before you guys steal it, LTE.
Yes. LTE. You think we'll see consumer LTE
Was
in
that
2012?
LTE? Was
I
that?
think so. Maybe towards the end of the year.
So MTN's piloting the technology. We've all been playing with it. It's fantastic, although there's no contention on the network.
Vodacom are piloting it as well, but not publicly. So
lots of LTE piloting going on.
So I think there's networks in the States which are running it already.
Yes.
So internationally, we're seeing it. We're seeing pilots here. So I reckon we'll see at least a metro level, like main centres, Joburg, Cape Town, Durban, roll out before the end of the year.
And do you think it will be priced the way that 3G is priced now, or do you think that it'll be a bit more expensive? Or LTE has got economies of scale. I mean, it's got efficiencies built into it. Yes.
That allow them to pump more data across it.
Yeah.
I think the whole point of these networks is that if people don't use them, then they don't make money.
Can I talk about the elephant in the LTE room? It's a technical elephant. And that's that realistically, once you have contention on the networks, you're not going to get better than HSPA speeds on LTE.
Yes, but it's more cost effective for them to run LTE.
Sure. And its range is better,
Yes.
and cell shrinkage isn't it's still a problem, but not as big a problem from what I understand.
So from a technical point of view, from an operational point of view, LTE makes perfect sense. That why would you be rolling out more and more HSPA based stations?
Yes.
When you can roll out LTE instead. You get the benefit of having the marketing boost, which you can now market this as a cool new technology. And you can talk about how much LTE coverage you have, and all that other fun stuff. But the basics of it is that you need to build more coverage. You need to build more capacity on your network.
Yes.
And if you're building it in HSPA, then you're throwing your money down a pit. If you're building it in LTE, especially if the price of LTE equipment comes down, then you're getting the benefits of a better efficiencies, better range, less cell shrinkage, better content, better management of your customers. I mean, all of it makes sense for a big network. If they're going to be investing their money into upgrading working on their network, then why aren't they putting it into LTE?
Certainly.
Yeah.
What's your other big trend that you think we'll see in 2012?
It's not a
Ben?
trend. it's a what
Okay,
what I'm waiting for.
Yes.
Diablo 3.
Yes. Yes,
Is that a
please.
trend?
No, it's a product.
I
It's a
predict
product.
that Diablo 3 will launch
Yes.
in 2012.
Please, Blizzard, can we have... what did they say, second quarter?
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
so later
And-
this year.
And there is the intro the intro video is out already,
Yes.
which
Oh,
is
it's
normally a
looking
good
so
sign.
hot.
Normally a good sign that the product is not far off. But yes, it is. I mean, I just can't wait.
Yeah, Diablo 3 is going to be amazing, he says, playing the footage.
Now, are you going to play Diablo 3 as a single player or cooperative online?
I'll see what
I think it's going to be really fun online.
Yeah.
For guys who don't want to get as serious as the MMO guys on World of Warcraft, whatever, I think it'll be fun to dip in and have some fun online with it.
I think the interesting trend it does bring to the fore, though, is the fact that you have to have an internet connection to play this game, regardless of whether you're playing single player or not.
Yeah.
That is something that Blizzard's come under a ton of fire about. But I think it's this kind of push to get to a point where piracy becomes less of an issue.
Yes.
And, I think in terms of trends, we're going to see gaming companies doing a lot more about that during the course of this year.
Okay. Cool. Nice one, Ben. Andy, shall we do you next?
Yeah.
What you got? What you got?
Do me. Okay. So 2.5. I think there's going to be a huge move from a retail perspective to mobile.
Okay.
I don't think we've even seen the beginnings of our ability to purchase stuff on our mobile devices. We live in a bubble. We purchase apps and we think that's purchasing. But when you can purchase, you can already do movie tickets where you can purchase other stuff. Everyday normal stuff, and it becomes the channel that you buy it on.
So systems like Paid and M-Pesa and e-wallet and all of those things.
All those kind of things. And I think the problem is we've got too many of them, so people aren't going to know what to use. But this is definitely the year of more of an e-commerce focus on mobile devices.
Definitely.
And with that comes really interesting things like I think people are going to wake up and go, oh, hello, we've forgotten about Google Mobile AdWords.
Yes.
Which is basically free at the moment because Google normal AdWords in most industries is not worth the price you're paying for it.
Yes.
Take the insurance industry, for instance. It's
Yeah.
the price per click is ridiculous.
Yes.
But everyone is forgetting about Google Mobile AdWords.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the big things that we're going to see next year.
Okay.
And then the last two apps for everything. We thought that this year was going to be the year of apps, but we've only seen a couple of South African companies start to fiddle around.
Yes.
They've set the benchmark pretty high. If you look at the F&B app, if you look at the Discovery app, they're pretty good.
Yes.
But I reckon next year we're going to see everything from an Outsurance app to an Edgar's app. All those kind of retailers and service providers and utilities that we interact with on a weekly or monthly basis. We're going to now do it via an app.
Okay.
And I see it all the time. I see my wife now. She does her side of the banking via the F&B app, not via the website.
Yeah.
So the app is more friendly than online banking.
Okay.
It's because it's single purpose.
Definitely.
So real year of the apps for the modern person.
I think that's probably a good call.
Yeah. And then the last quick one is that I think consumers are really going to be looking for a different way to search. I think Google has been failing us as geeks for a while. We've been a little upset with the search results, but I'm starting to hear it from normal people outside the bubble.
And what does it move to? Siri?
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but Google is not returning the results that people
So do you think
need.
you think it's a search problem, not an interface
It's
problem?
it's a search results problem. I mean, you'll probably
It's
find
interesting
that
because I think search is the best it's ever been. you know?
no, oh no,
It was better before.
there was less clutter.
Oh, but that's just a general thing about the internet.
Yeah, but the results that are being returned by, try look for anything that a normal family would look for.
Right.
Travel or, vacuum cleaners or kids' education, whatever the hell it is. The results are awful.
Okay.
And I don't think we're doing less searches. I just think we're more and more disillusioned with the results we're getting.
Right.
So we're going to start, as human beings do, we're going to start looking for different ways to achieve the same results.
Okay.
One would be social, and the others, I don't know yet.
Alrighty. Cool. Nice one, Andy.
That's on me radar.
Bretsky, what's on your radar?
On my radar is the fact that I think that BlackBerry is going to make a comeback this year.
Wishful
Seriously.
thinking, but
No.
I hope it's true.
You know what? I have been massively impressed with QNX on the playbook.
Yes.
I think the biggest travesty is that there aren't more applications available for it, and the fact that they just can't seem to get that developer ecosystem mobilized.
Yes.
But I think the moment that comes across to phones, we're talking about a very, very different environment.
Definitely.
Right? We're going to see this at Mobile World in a month or two's time. And I think that BlackBerry 10 on smartphones is going to be fantastic.
You know, I agree with you, and I hope that you're right, Bretsky. I also loved QNX on the playbook. It, unfortunately, as you said, wasn't supported by developers. But I think that that BlackBerry has a real chance of turning things around this year. What they need to do, though, is sort out the executive decision making, because that really was their big problem in 2011.
Big time. I think that you need one CEO as well.
Maybe.
That's going to be...
and I hate to say it, but maybe that doesn't need to be Mike Lazaridis, the guy who fought about cameras on phones and think they needed them and all sorts of other things. Anyway, anything else?
I think that music and video services on the internet will finally arrive in South Africa this year. Okay. That's going to be... It's a very, very big, hairy, audacious prediction. I'm very, very hopeful about that.
Once again, I hope you're right.
I think you're right. I just think the experience will be crap.
I've been hearing a ton of stuff, kind of whisperings that iTunes is not that far off, and strangely enough, that the Zune marketplace is actually not that far off from South Africa.
I leave you, Kenyan App Store.
So if you look at it, there was a really, really large gap between the Xbox becoming available in South Africa and Live becoming available in South Africa.
Yes.
Look at how quickly, since that move, other services have been added to South Africa. Look at how quickly the Windows Phone marketplace has become available in South Africa. We're not looking at the same level of lag.
Yes.
Right? Now, consider something else for a second. The big thing probably holding all of this back is the infrastructure Microsoft needs in country.
No,
I'm speaking about Zune
not
specifically.
At all. It's content licensing. That's
well,
the big
okay. You know, if Nokia can get it back, can get it right, then other vendors should be able to. We know when Windows 8 comes this year, right? That there's going to need to be a ton of infrastructure in place because, of course, there's this Windows application marketplace that's going to have to accompany Windows 8.
Yes.
Right? I think it's going to be the right time to switch that on.
Okay.
I also have it on good authority
I hope you're right.
that things are poised for iTunes to come to South Africa from a music and a video perspective. I think it'll be great. I'd love to be able to give somebody money for the content that I really want in digital format, as opposed to having to constantly buy DVDs and CDs and rip them.
Definitely. All right, nice. So that feeds nicely into one of my big calls for 2012 is I think we're going to see major disruption in the television space. I think we're going to see things start to come to fruition from Google, from Apple, from Microsoft, and others. Netflix starting to go global more. I get the feeling that this will be the year of disruption for television. It might be late in the year. It probably will be late in the year. It might even be early in 2013. But I think we are going to, in the next year, see these guys get the carpet pulled out from under them. And I'm talking about paid television providers.
Can I just jump in and agree with you on something that people should keep an eye on? BBC iPlayer goes to subscription model next year.
Yes.
Sorry, actually not next year. Sometime this year.
Yeah.
All right. They've been talking about it for a while. They know that people are using VPNs to access their service.
Yeah.
Right? And they're going to make that content available in whatever region you want. You're just going to have to pay for it.
Yes.
That is the start of something. Believe me, they're getting it, and I think everybody else should too.
So, of course, in Walter Isaacson's Steve Jobs biography, he mentions Steve, one of the last conversations he had with him was around TV.
Yep.
And Steve talks about how terrible an experience TV is and that he's finally cracked fixing it. And, I'm one of the people who thinks that Apple will play in the space, that they will make it bigger than Apple TV. I think the day is coming where you'll walk into your lounge and go, Siri, play Game of Thrones, and it'll play the most recent episode of Game of Thrones, for example. I think that day is going to come a lot quicker than we think.
I'd really like to be able to pay somebody some money and not worry about my content, right? That would be nice.
Definitely. One of the other big calls I'm making for this year is a fairly obvious one, but it was one of the last hardware projects Steve Jobs worked on, which was the iPhone 5. Apparently, everything I hear, this is going to kick things into orbit again. It's going to be almost 2007 all over again in its magnitude. Could be wrong, but when people start talking about the iPhone 5, you get a sense that this is going to be something special. It was one of the last hardware projects that Steve Jobs worked on directly. We'll probably see it around June, July. If Apple sticks to their cycle, we'll see it being unveiled then by Tim Cook, the current CEO of Apple. And the feeling is that this will set a new bar for mobile once again. We don't know why. Apparently, there's been some breakthroughs in screen technology that are in the iPhone 5. Siri was just the beginning of an API for artificial intelligence, and it's going to be a major product, apparently.
Sure. Look, it's difficult to think about what could happen.
Or you could do, right?
It can't be iterative. If it's going to be a tectonic shift the way the iPhone was, it can't be iterative of anything that's come before. It's got to do something so new and so remarkable that, well, let's see.
So those are some of my picks. When we get back from CES, Samantha Beck-Bessinger will be looking after the show while we're there, by the way. But when we get back from CES, we'll have a better idea of some of the things that are on the radar for 2012. And, of course, when we see Mobile World Congress later in the year as well.
Indeed.
Get some more sort of clarity on where the mobile space is heading. I think NFC is going to become more prolific this year. Not necessarily for transactions, but just for Foursquare check-ins at restaurants, for example. I've seen that already, where you tap your phone on the window.
Yeah, you see
that kind of thing.
Not payments, check-ins.
Apparently, it's a massively cheap technology to integrate into cell phone hardware, and that, I think, is the same thing that made Bluetooth as big as what it was.
Yeah.
And it might be the same thing that makes NFC really, really prolific.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Well, we could carry on all evening, but those are some of our predictions for 2012, some of the things on our radar, our tech radar, on our outlook for 2012. We look forward to exploring all of these topics and hopefully some that we haven't even dreamt of yet during the year, and that you'll be sharing it with us. So this was episode number 192 of the ZA Tech Show. Thanks for being here at Andy Hadfield.
My pleasure.
And thanks for being on our official ZA Tech Show holiday special team.
Thanks for inviting me.
Holiday special team.
I was going to get all emotional now.
Can we go on holiday now, please?
At Benedict Kelly. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much,
From
Simon.
the Mail and Guardian, and of course at Brett Haggard from Hypertext Media Communications.
Thank you, sir.
We hope your 2012 rocks, and we look forward to another 52 episodes, well 51 now, with you this year. So thanks for watching. Check out the website, zatech.co.za, made possible, of course, by Vodacom. Power to you at vodacom.co.za. Cheers.